Hello, how you doing? This presentation is going to walk you through some of the main ideas of the strategy for shared services in the area of continuous improvement. And I consider this phase three, considering the fact that we have been doing this for now a few years. I think we're at a point where we can continue to move forward with some of our ideas and plans and to expand on what we have done and to capitalize on those gains. So, just to remind everybody, why are we doing this? In case some of you still are trying to connect the dots. In our Promise 2030, it talks about stewardship that results in a bias for action, a focus on impact, continuous improvement and innovation toward future challenges, clear value for money, and ever higher standards of efficiency. And it also says we continually ask ourselves how we could make each task simpler, faster, better, and cheaper. And so that's why we are doing this. We're doing this because we want to fulfill that promise through the application of continuous improvement and innovation practices. Also, to keep in mind that sometimes when we present some of the ideas, things look impossible. But remember, with God, everything is possible. And so I want to encourage the heart and the thinking that yes, maybe we're going to find some challenges and obstacles, but we are faithful and we trust that God is going to fulfill whatever plans He has in mind. Now, to add a little bit more of a kind of like measurable elements to the strategy, which, as you know, I haven't been very um, pushy on that, but I think that we are at a point where we need to start looking at some of the metrics. So, for example, one is continuous improvement and innovation penetration, which can be measured by the percentage of shared services staff with at least one documented improvement. The reason why this metric is important is because we want to make sure that we are inclusive and that little by little we continue to expand this idea and that more people are engaged and participate actively in this idea of continuous improvement. So that can be a good indicator that could help us how much this is penetrating. The other, of course, that we have been doing, maybe not as um, as forcefully as we probably could at this point, is the number of documented improvements for each of the different sites. Now, of course, we can modify this to make it about the processes. So we can say, number of documented improvements for the P2P by December of 2018, etc. So instead of using the site, maybe you want to start using the processes, since we now have a clear definition on that. But at the end, the idea will be to come up with a total number of improvements across all the different processes so that we feel that this is more a team effort. The other thing I think is very important, and I hope you've seen that this is a cornerstone for our strategy, is the continual development of our senseis. I think that you've now realized how important it is for us to continue to foster this idea. So we want to complete the certification of X number of greenbelt senseis by December of 2018 to begin the certification process of more green belts to be certified. And we can also incorporate here the number of yellow belts, which I think that's another element that's important. We can also start incorporating that and to begin the black belt certification process. So we want to help the senseis from the green belt now moving into the black belt. So I think that that will be also very encouraging for them. Let's talk a little bit about current state. Our current state, I think, is people have a better understanding of continuous improvement and innovation methodologies, tools, and principle, except for Ghana, which we're going to talk more about that. We have more than 4 improvements that have been implemented by Philippines and Costa Rica teams. So this is a great, platform or baseline. Our senseis have the ability to deploy and expand resources for others with some level of coaching, of course. But I think we are at a point where they have demonstrated that they can deploy and they can help us expand this knowledge with more people within the shared services. And then we also know that the support of the leadership to continue to develop the continuous improvement culture of shared services is there. I'm really excited and happy to see and to feel that the leaders are really engaged and setting the tone to the importance of continuous improvement. Yeah, we have some challenges and we have some lessons learned that I just want to go over real quick. We have new players. So, for example, Ghana is a total new entity. We have new leaders, etc. So we need to bring them up to speed to engage and so they can engage and participate in continuous improvement and innovation journey. We have also a challenge with our day-to-day activities that can hurt the delivery and progress of projects. So we need higher engagement from the leaders to support the teams. We need better job of identifying the right priorities, and we also need to create the space for teams and individuals to receive training and to work in continuous improvement projects. We also want to maintain and foster the sensei's internal communication. We know that you guys, the senseis, keep meeting, so I think we need to foster that because I think that's where you guys can share ideas, and that's where you develop some internal strategies that result in great things for continuous improvements. So I think we need to be more deliberate about our calendar of continuous improvement activities and events, such as scheduled training weeks and also schedule our leadership sensei meetings, which we are starting to work on that. We're going to be sending an invitation to begin with that process next month. Also, we want to continue with our certification program. I think we need to make sure we schedule our certification ceremony for Costa Rica and Philippines, and to make it so that when the leaders visit the places, the sites, so that's when we can do those ceremonies. So how do we do that? Well, I wanted to keep this really simple. Okay, I don't want to overcomplicate the strategy. I want to just say very simple. One, we need to continue to deploy continuous improvement training on and continuous improvement and innovation. So I think we have to deliver training in Ghana. So we also want to deliver training in Philippines, and also in that we want to kick off the black belt process with the senseis from the Philippines, and we want to also do a training in Costa Rica, and also to kick off the black belt process with Costa Rica. And I feel that I'm going to try to be very proactive about scheduling those visits so that we can begin as soon as possible. Also, this will help us to gather our information. It will help us to reorganize our projects. And with the next step, which is the discipline and accountability, which are going to be our monthly leadership and sensei meetings. I mean, bi-monthly, we're going to be able to follow up and to make sure that we are closing and we're making progress on some of the projects that we identify. We want to continue with our green belt and yellow belt certification process. So we want to finish strong with the green belt and expand to more, and beginning with the black belt. One of the stretch goals that we can also propose is I think we are also at the right time to begin to learn more about the idea on how to do door-to-door Kaizen type of projects, right? Where instead of looking at small improvements within a specific group, we can begin to conduct Kaizen events where we have door-to-door processes and where we can streamline those processes. I think that can be a stretch goal. We can begin to get some of the senseis to transfer that knowledge, and maybe that's something I can do when I do the black belt kickoff session. I can probably do a train the trainer, so you begin to apply that and to use that. But I think that can be a step in the right direction. What are some of the benefits that I see by doing what I just shared? Well, we will continue to develop a strong continuous improvement and innovation culture within the shared services. We also gonna build on the gains from the past by making sure that the senseis continue to grow and develop their careers, and also, of course, to continue to improve our processes. We want to make sure that we continue to increase customer satisfaction and improve performance. With this, I think we're going to be able to drive efficiency through the elimination of waste, and also we're going to be able to fix problems by concentrating on the root cause. Continuous improvement will be a platform for career development. And the last one will be by doing this, I think Shared Services is sending a strong message to the partnership about the commitment that we have with the partnership in the area of continuous improvement. And this can set up a benchmark for other groups to learn and also to use the tools and to deploy their own continuous improvement initiatives. So that's all I have. I wanted to make it brief so that I can share with you. But of course, please send me your feedback and your comments. And I'm really excited about this humble strategy. But I think that we need to keep it simple, but we need to be effective, and we need to be deliberate about our efforts towards better and higher levels of efficiency. Thank you so much for your support as always, and more to come. Bye bye.